Hey guys, it's Kevin, and today I've got another double review, and that's for the Manic SMRT Pod Kit by Wotofo. Here's the packaging for it, and the Manik Mini by Wotofo as well, right? So first, I just want to mention again that I started a series of what I'm calling Pact Act targets, right? And these are essentially devices that I think you should attempt to purchase before the Pact Act goes into effect. And honestly, you're running out of time for it. I believe the post office is going to issue its final rule on what it's going to essentially accept, and it's going to outline the whole framework for how it's going to be delivering any kind of vape related mail in the future. And that's on March 27th. So on March 27th, they're going to be doing that. So originally, a lot of online vape shops thought they were going to be getting a little bit more time to do that shipping, potentially even 120 days after that date, but it does not look like that is a smart idea. To give you a little bit more information that I know, I was contacted by a wholesaler and distributor here in the Midwest, and they essentially wanted my business license to continue doing business, and I gave them that. I did go and register a business under the name The Awesome Professor. So I'm registered to do business in online device reviews and marketing. And so I'm kind of happy and excited about that. I do actually have a website up here, theawesomeprofessor.com. I did it in a day. So don't think there's so much greatness like on here just yet, and essentially just tells a little bit about like myself and the journey and all that, but the important thing here is going to be the blog. So you'll see recent reviews that I put up, and I'll continue to put them in there, and when you click on them or you go to the blog, I've got some links there telling you how you can maybe be a little more successful at trying to quit smoking. Gives you some ideas that's pinned up at the top of it, right? But then you can just kind of scroll through and you can actually stream my videos from there. And I do have some links so you can find more information about the devices. So with that said, check it out. I'd love to hear your feedback on it. Getting kind of worried about it. So the thing about any business-to-business work that needs to be done has to be approved by the post office, and it all has to be submitted, we believe, sometime very soon after March 27th. And they need to approve each of the customers, and they will be going through each of the customers, checking the validity of their business licenses and their tax information that goes to whatever state. And then everybody that actually wants to sell tobacco devices, and I'm not one of them, has to register with the ATF. Now, the question being, since I'm not going to sell, do I still have to register with the ATF? Nobody knows. There's a lot of unknown there. But there are some bigger vape online retailers that are going to be using this new courier service, X, and I'm assuming that they're going to be available in big metropolitan areas, but still probably going to be tens of thousands, if not more, people that aren't going to have access to that delivery service X. So stock up while you can, okay? And while you're stocking up, let me just give you a little bit of a tip. This SMRT Pod Kit, I mean, it's almost required. I've got a build coming up after I give you my thoughts on it to just show you how very simple and easy it is. It's a, I believe, 6-minute build from start to finish, and I'm also being a bit slow because it's kind of hard to build something when you're worried about the camera and all of that. So it takes a little bit longer, but I hope you enjoy that. Again, if you like that kind of stuff, I'll be showing you more. With that said, let me tell you a little bit about the Wotofo Manic S, all right, that comes in the SMRT Pod Kit. First, as you can kind of see, it's got a very familiar form factor. Looks a lot like the RPM 80 by SMOC, okay? There's a lot of people that have been knocking in their reviews like the overall look and aesthetic of the Manic logo and everything. To me, totally fits. I love it. It looks like something that I would design, no joke. I've made a lot of t-shirts, I've done posters and stuff like that that look dead on to Wotofo style. So I love their font, I love their bold and in-your-face look. It very much matches the coil that's actually included with this pod, the D15 coil, the Wotofo D15 coil. And I'll talk about that in a second. So just to give you a quick idea of the features of the pod device, right? Simplest thing, 5 clicks turns it on, 3 clicks is gonna lock your wattage. Very simple. 3 clicks to unlock it. And then you press the up button and the fire button, and you can start changing colors. You can cycle through all those different colors until you find the one that you like. I kind of like just the white, right? Bottom button, and that will clear your puff counter. So overall, extremely simple. There's no adjustable airflow, just straight up honeycomb airflow right there. And let's give it a hit. This thing just rockets flavor at you. This D15 coil, it'll fit in your Voopoo tanks. It'll fit in your Vape tank. It is the best coil at this size that I've ever tasted. It rivals the taste on your TPP tanks or your TPP coils, right, that are inside this tank. Oh, I don't know if any of you guys realize, but the drip tips on these are removable because it looks like just so kind of perfect and beautiful, but you put any 810 drip tip that you want on it. This isn't a Voopoo review, right? It's about the Wotofo Manic S. Unbelievable, unbelievable. And there's something about the design of this pod and the way the coil is and the airflow coming in and just hitting the coil that is unfreaking real. The slightest drag on this will just fill your lungs. Unbelievable cloud production, unbelievable dense, warm vapor. The flavor on it, though, is superior to everything else that I've tried. Everything else that I've tried. It is that good. So these D15 coils are a must-have if you like any of the Voopoo products, any of the Vape products. You like lots of clouds, lots of vapor production, dense, warm vape. Gotta buy these D15s. Forget it. You'll get rid of all of your other like 0.2s and 0.3s by Voopoo because you're gonna love this. You're gonna absolutely love it. You guys know this isn't my thing. It's not my thing, but it's that good. It's that good. I enjoy it. I have really, really enjoyed it. You guys, I've got my built Wotofo SMRT coil, and you're gonna see that build in just 1 minute, and I'm gonna compare it to the D15. It's reading in at 0.17 ohms. I'm gonna fire that up at the max power it's allowing me to do, 60 watts. Here we go, ready? 3 puffs. That is freaking good. That's good. Let's compare that to the TPP coil right away. You know, they're comparable enough. Yeah, I mean, they're comparable in flavor. And I just built this thing. Super, super easy to do too. Yeah, so if you like the Fupu TPP coils, I mean, they're pretty darn close in performance and flavor to these Wotofo SMRT coil kits, right? Let's compare it to the D15. I can already tell that flavor's better. Yeah, I mean, the winner is the D15 coil on it. It's just really, really flavorful. I don't know what else to tell you. I mean, it's just kind of a perfect warm, dense vapor in my lungs, and perfect amount of throat hit, the way it kind of injects that quickly into it. Maybe that's the thing that is kind of lacking, like the SMRT coil's lacking, like not being inside this like SMRT or the Manic S device here. So I'm thinking that I'll probably recommend that you use it in the Manic S, but because there's just not as much airflow in the Drag 3 of all things, right? There's my dog wagging his tail and moving around, but yeah, guys, I cannot recommend these things higher. They are absolutely fantastic, and what I'm going to do is just leave you first with the build, and then make sure to come back afterwards so I can show you the Manik Mini, because I know a lot of you guys are going to like this one too, or at least hear what I got to say about it. So without further ado, check out how quick and easy you can make these SMRT coils. Thank you. Come on. as you saw, pretty simple and easy. If I can make those coils, you can too. Now I'm going to talk about the Manik Mini pod system by Wotofo, and I just want to mention real quickly a little bit about the device. It's got a 1.2 amp charging. It does use micro USB, so that's a big but that's pretty fast charging for the device, okay? And I know we all still have micro USBs out there, despite the fact that we don't necessarily want to have them anymore. But it's got a 1000 milliamp hour battery, and it comes with 2 different pods. That's the sort of cool thing about it. You got this wire pod that's 0.6 ohms, and you got a 0.6 ohm mesh pod. Also claims to be waterproof as well, so that's good. That's good news. It's got an adjustable screen that you see here. Very, very easy to use. 1, 2, 3 is gonna make this thing flash, and then I can press the button and move my wattage all the way up. In this case, it's going to go all the way to 30 watts and round robin around. I've been vaping this at 20 watts, okay? Now, in full disclosure, I am about to find out how this thing vapes after syringing out the e-liquid. When I first got these, I was extremely disappointed with the fact that they didn't seem to have any flavor at all. And I was actually just watching a review. You gotta remember that I'm a YouTube fan and all of that too, so I subscribe to other reviewers, and I was just where you guys were a couple months ago. And I was watching a Jay Hayes video on the UL tripod because he thought it was all hype. And you know, he mentioned in that review that it tastes like nothing. And I even commented on his thing that I get so much flavor out of the tripod that I get vapor's tongue from it. So that's kind of weird. But with this Manik Mini, I get no flavor out of it. So I syringed out all the e-liquid just to check and see if it had something to do with that, right? And then I've been letting this just kind of sit for a little while to see if that changes it, okay? Cool thing is this will tell you where to vape each pod. The, let's see, the wire one is saying between 18 and 22 watts. I've been vaping it at 20 watts, and now we're about to find out how it performs after I syringed out the e-liquid. Let this thing sit overnight, okay? Come on, give me some flavor. We'll see. No, it's just not there. I mean, I'll give it a little bit of a try to maybe clean out the coil. But it is getting cloudy in here, and it's not really giving me too much more flavor. So I don't know, this might have to be one that I'm gonna have to come back with another update. Now I'm gonna place this in here, the mesh pod, and now unfortunately I'm over the wattage recommendation. So I'm gonna take this around, bring it all the way back to 15. That can be irritating to some of you guys. I'll put it at 17, okay? It's between 15 and 18 watts. I want to keep it in that range. I feel like the mesh coil, I'm getting a little more flavor out of it. Yeah, unfortunately, guys, I mean, I don't really have much to say about it at this stage. you know, I watched other people's reviews. I heard Daniel from DJLSB Vapes talk about how it was outstanding. I mean, the flavor out of this mesh coil rivals sub-ohm tanks that he's tried. I believe him. Yeah, I mean, Grim Green saying this thing is one of his favorites too. Like, it rivals the Vupu V-through flavor. And again, I believe him. I totally do believe him. I don't know if I got a couple of dud pods, but I haven't reached out to Wotofo about that yet. Or yet, rather. So I will make sure that I do, and I'll keep you guys updated. And definitely look for this one in Coil and performance update that I post later on. At the very least, I'll tell you how it's holding up, or if I was able to figure out any ways to get flavor into it, because I just feel like there's gotta be something up with these pods that I got, because the hype and the expectation just completely don't mesh at all. It's like other reviewers that I do respect and I do believe, you know, to give their honest opinions and stuff like that, are vaping completely different devices than the ones I got. Okay. Yeah, it's just not gonna do it for me. Try the wire again. Yeah, even less flavor. So, I mean, with that said, it was a bit of a disappointment, but I can't thank Wotofo enough for sending me this stuff. And like I said, I will reach out to them. I love those smart coils. I really do. I think they're fun to build. I think they're super flavorful, and you know, like, I use them. So in a future update, I'll show you how I used a different coil rebuild kit, the mesh that came out of it, to essentially make 0.3s that'll work in my little Argus kit that only goes 0.3 and higher. With that said, thank you guys for everything. Thanks for, please like and subscribe. Check out my website while you're at it and give me ideas that you might have. If you have any questions about the Pact Act or the flavor ban or anything like that, please let me know. I actually want to give a shout out to Smoko Vapor in Plainfield, Illinois. When I was leaving work today, I spoke to the owner, and he's super knowledgeable and really cool, and let me take some pictures and answered a bunch of questions I had about devices that were his best selling. We even talked about the Caliber and G, and you know, like, problems that some of you guys have been saying that you're having with them, and fixes that I know of for them. Just an awesome guy. Hopefully I'll be able to go in there and do some videos at some point. So, you know, big thanks to him too for just being cool and answering questions and giving me a discount on my juice, which I don't have in front of me, but that was pretty cool. Makes me feel a lot better and more comfortable with the idea of going back to brick and mortar for things like these device reviews, because people like him do exist and give their honest opinions, and just really, really helpful and knowledgeable with all the years that he's been doing this. So with that said, guys, thank you again. I will see you soon in a live, hopefully, maybe this weekend. We'll have to see. Looks like a lot of people like the idea of a Saturday afternoon live. So maybe, right? But I'll let you guys know about that tomorrow.